What's going on, guys? John here tonight from NYKBF. I'm going to go over a couple things, get everybody stoked for Cuba coming up this week. Got to get a couple things done. Then we're going to talk about Cuba here. But quickly, I'll let everybody know, anybody that won anything for the April month long, I think payments were either sent out yesterday or are being sent out. So you guys should see those pretty quickly if you haven't seen them already. Go over quickly who won who did well in the month longs here. So at fifth place for the April month long, we had Dale Van Horn. Fourth place, we had Robert Felber. Third place was Josh Brewer. Second place, Paul Donovan. And in first place for the April month long, Nate Yakuzo. Nice job, Nate. So all those guys obviously were catching some good fish in April. I know there were some good fish caught at our Canandaigua tournament a couple weeks ago. We'll run through all the places for Canandaigua. I mean, it was really no surprise if you know anything about the people who fished that lake, who was in the top five. So number 5, we had Jose. Number 4 was Nate Yakuzo again. Number 3 was Gary. So, I mean, those guys pretty much live at that lake in the spring, so not a real big surprise that they did well there. And then we had in second place, Pat Vimet. And Pat also took home Big Bass. Got that nice Douglas rod. We'll go along with the money he won for winning Big Bass and finishing second. And then taking home first place again was Bailey Eggbert. So Bailey's undefeated in NYKBF tournaments right now. So he'll be back for Cayuga at the end of the month. So we really need to come out and somebody needs to knock Bailey off. Just kidding, Bailey. Be great to see a three-peat, man. It'd be awesome if you could do that. I don't think anybody's ever done that before. I think we've had somebody win 2 in a row before, but I don't think we've ever had anybody win 3. So see if Bailey can come out and get number 3, or if somebody can get out there, get a big bag and knock him off on Cayuga on the 22nd. But well, also there was I know a bunch of our guys fished the elite kayak fishing event on Cayuga this past week. Want to give a big shout out to NYKBF member Josh Smith, who finished in 4th place on that one. Josh has been an NYKBF member for a couple of years now, and went out there and really represented NYKBF very well. You know, doing well in that elite kayak fishing tournament, represent NYKBF, finishing in 4th place. So good job, Josh. Way to represent NYKBF, pretty strong there. Then again, guys, raffle boat. That's the tickets for that are still available. Want to make sure everybody's getting tickets for that. Those tickets will be sold all the way up until the state championships, and the boat will be given away on the last day of state championships. All that money is going to go directly to the Tristan Foundation, just like all the money that we raised at the charity tournament. So I think I said it last time, but we'd really love. We were at $3,100 already for the Tristan Foundation. If we could get up to 5,000 total with the raffle tickets, that'd be awesome. We'd really love to hit that $5,000 mark this year. I know we can do it, guys. I know this is the group that can handle it, can make it happen. And you know, you're not just donating money to a good cause. You got a chance to win a really nice kayak. So we've got the charity boat, charity kayak, the Jackson Stacks, going to be given away at the final day of the state championships. So we got a couple months still to get in there, buy tickets, but you know, buy them early, buy them often. Get your mom one, get your grandma one. You know, sell as many raffle tickets as you can for us, guys. And so we really want to hit that $5,000 mark to give to the Tristan Foundation this year. Like I said, those will be available pretty much up until the boat's given away on the at the award ceremony at the second day of states. Anybody who did not hear, who was not at Canandaigua, we announced where the state championships are being held this year. State championships are being held on one of the best fisheries in New York State. Easy 2-story fishery. You know, you got a shallow southern basin, a deeper northern basin. You got smallmouth, largemouth, Great fishery. You can do right there, Brian, put it up on the screen, Chautauqua Lake. So it's an amazing fishery. KBF had a trail event there back in 2018 and fished really well. It's going to be a lake where, a lot of people are going to catch their limit of largemouth, but the guys who are going to win it are probably going to be, fishing for 5 or 6 bites a day, but catching big smallmouth. The big smallmouth tend to hang out deeper out there. And if you find the smallmouth, usually you also find muskie, so you'll be fighting those every once in a while. But if you want to win it, it's probably going to be a bag of smallmouth that wins state championships this year. Largemouth will be fairly easy to come by, but the smallmouth will be probably the winners there. I mean, if you can put together good 5 or 6 bites a day of good smallmouth, they're all real big there. They're all very big out there. So you'll have a good bag if you decide to chase smallmouth out there, but it's only going to be probably 5 or 6 bites a day, and you're probably going to run into some muskie, maybe lose some lures to them. But I think we're talking about running a biggest muskie side pot for that tournament as well. So we'll have some kind of prizes set aside for biggest muskie at Chautauqua, because there are some monsters in that lake, and over 2 days, somebody's bound to hook into a big one. We did that when we had the KBF event there a couple years ago, and I think somebody won it with like a 37-incher, which is kind of average for that lake. That's not a really big one for that lake. That's kind of middle of the road. So there's some big fish out there. But again, like I said, it'll be probably, I'm going to guess right now, it's going to be won by smallmouth, but there'll be a lot of largemouth limits submitted that tournament. So again, everybody, that's the end of the year, middle of September, I think this year. I don't have the dates with me off the top of my head, but everybody needs to start getting hyped for that, getting campgrounds and hotels booked for Chautauqua. It's going to be a great event. It's a lot of fun to fish that lake, especially that time of year. Like I said, largemouth and smallmouth fishery. Big smallmouth, lots of largemouth. Speaking of big smallmouth, we'll roll right into it. Going to Cuba, big smallmouth lake. This is probably going to be the first tournament of the year where the winning bag is going to be 5 smallmouth. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it right now that the winning bag this week at Cuba is going to be 5 smallmouth. I think a lot of people are going to be, surprised. Guys from the Western area, they know. A lot of people are quiet about it, but they know what's in Cuba. But guys that are coming in from, our original tournament area, the Finger Lakes region, you're going to be surprised. A small lake in the southern interior that you probably never heard of before our schedule came out. You're going to be surprised at the size of smallmouth that are in that lake. Lake's got big smallmouth. It's got a decent number of largemouth. They're not as big as a smallmouth, but they got big smallmouth. Bonus walleyes. So, hey, you're in a bass tournament, but you could always come home with dinner. Bonus walleyes there, but big smallmouth at Cuba. I've had some days there where, just a couple hours and, you're scraping 90 inches without even really trying that hard, not even fishing a third of the lake. So, a small lake like that, it's small. So, if we get a ton of guys, it might be, a little difficult with fishing pressure, but it's a really, really good fishery. I can't, ever since I kind of stumbled onto it a couple years ago, I've been trying to look for a way that we could have a tournament there to show people what it's all about. And with the Western Series this year, this was kind of the perfect opportunity. So really, really stoked to get on to Cuba and crank some big smallmouth, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, a lot of big smallmouth, some decent largemouth, but again, the smallmouth are going to carry the day for sure. The winner is going to be all 5 smallmouth. It's going to be a good day there. And I think, I don't remember what Bailey's total was for Canandaigua, somewhere around 94 inches. And I wouldn't be shocked if we're within 2 or 3 inches of that, all smallmouth this week. So it's going to be a good lake. It's a big fish lake, even though the lake itself is not that big. Most of the fishing pressure there from the locals is walleyes and crappies, so the bass don't get pushed that hard. So you're going to see some big bags caught that day. It's a really good fishery. I can't really stress it enough how excited I am for us to have a tournament on Cuba Lake. Like I said, ever since I stumbled on it a couple years ago, it's a big fish body of water for being as small as it is. One little thing we got to watch out, guys. on the we'll post a picture of this later, and somebody already brought it up in the public forum, or maybe it was a members only forum, I don't know. But the very bottom of one of the arms of the lake is on an Indian reservation. You need to make sure that unless you buy a Native American reservation license, you do not fish that bottom portion of the lake. If you pull it up on Google Maps, you can clearly see the shaded area where the reservation starts. It's only a few acres at the bottom of one of the arms. For anybody that's not familiar with Cuba Lake, it's basically 3 arms around a big central basin. And I believe I want to say it's the arm that points kind of southwest. The very bottom of it, the very bottom few acres of it, are on the Native American reservation. So we need to make sure that we are not fishing in there unless you buy a res license. If you buy a res license, you can fish those bottom three few acres. I don't know exactly the number, but it's only a few acres. You can fish those bottom few acres, no problem. But if you do not have a res license, you need to make sure you stay out of that area. Again, it's a very small portion of the lake. Like I said, if you pull it up on Google Maps, you can clearly see where the shading starts, where the border for the reservation is. So just be mindful of that. Also on Cuba, you pull up Go Paddling. There are 2 marked launches. They're both in the, I think, northwest arm that are marked there. But at the end by the dam, on the southeast arm, there is a kind of quick and dirty kayak launch. There's a little parking area there for, I don't know, probably 10 cars, maybe a little bit more than that. And you carry down a little bit of a hill to the edge of the water, and you can put in right there. You can, if you need a little space, you can spread out to the right, because that's just the dam there. But please do not spread out to the left, because that is private property. So from that launch, if you're on land, obviously I'm talking, if you need to move down a little bit on land or beach your kayak somewhere else to make room for somebody else, beach it off to the dam side, the right side from that launch, so you are not infringing on somebody else's property. So just a couple things to be careful of there. But and then, you know what? I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it to this tournament, so I'll give you a little hint. Right around the dam, there is an old sunken car. You let the search around find it on your graph, but there's an old sunken car down near the dam end there. It's known to hold some fish. I caught a few fish off at ice fishing this year, so that'll be something to look for. But again, Cuba's going to be a great tournament, guys. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of big fish coming out of that lake this weekend, and people are going to be surprised at the smallmouth that are caught out there. Just like we always do, we've got a spot for awards afterwards. We want to make sure we plug them. We kind of get in with them on short notice, and they were super gracious to fit us in and host us. So everybody go follow on Instagram, check out their website, hit them up, say that they're thankful. Ryan's got it right there, The Old Greyhound in Cuba, New York. They got a good Instagram. Check out the food. They got some amazing looking food. I know John and Bo were down there hanging out. They went there to eat after they pre-fished earlier this week, and they said the food was awesome. So Ryan threw some of it up on the screen right there. But yeah, everybody go and check it out, and be sure, like I said, give them a follow on Instagram, and when you're there, say thank you for fitting us in. They got us a nice big spot outside, like we always are for awards. They got big lawn with picnic tables and everything set up for us, so it's going to be a good time out there. We've got, like I said, we got a great host, The Old Greyhound in Cuba, New York. They're right on Genesee Street in Cuba, New York. I don't have the exact address in front of me, but you just look up The Old Greyhound in Cuba, New York. You'll find them easy. It's like 5 minutes from the lake. It's not right on the lake like we like to have, but it is, like I said, about 5 minutes from the lake, and the food is awesome, and they were awesome to fit us in, get us all set for Saturday. So please, everybody, go give them a follow on Instagram and let them know that we appreciate them. Again, with Cuba coming up, we've got the the normal awards and everything like that coming. We also got another rod from Douglas for Big Bass. So the Big Bass winner will win a Douglas rod from our friends at Douglas Outdoors and Doc's Tackle. It's going to be it's a great little program they set up for us. You go into Doc's Tackle with your voucher that covers the cost of a LRS, and you pick out whatever LRS you want, and you're all set, squared away, good to go. If you want to upgrade yourself to the X Matrix, you just pay the difference between the LRS and the X Matrix, which I think is like $80. So if you want to go for their like absolute top of the line rod, it's almost a $300 rod that, if you want to upgrade yourself to it, you'd be walking away for just $80 for like a $300 rod. So if you win that, you got an LRS basically for free. But if you decide you want to upgrade to the X Matrix series, you can just pay the difference there, which again, I think is $80. Don't, quote me on that 100%. I'll have to check with Docs for sure, but it's a really nice step up from the LRS, which is a great rod to begin with, to the X Matrix. So that's a great little perk we got going from Douglas Outdoors and Doc's Tackle. So everyone, again, make sure you show them some love. Douglas shared one of our photos today on Instagram. Big Bass winner Pat at the last event. So send the whole NYKBF army over there, give them a bunch of likes, comment on their posts and everything. Let them know we appreciate them. So check out Douglas. Like their post about Pat winning Big Bass at Canandaigua, and make sure you let them know, and make sure you let all our sponsors know that we appreciate them, because they don't get much out of this except the publicity we give here and on Instagram and stuff like that. So they're doing this stuff for just some publicity from us. So I want to make sure that they know that we appreciate everything they do for us. So again, be sure to go over there and check out Douglas and Docs and the Old Greyhound and all of our sponsors. I think that's about all I had as far as questions. Let's see, looking in chat now. Jay, we don't know if Greg's going to be there. A couple of us know him okay, but there's other tournaments going on. He might just be fishing for video content that day somewhere else. So we don't know if Greg's going to be there. We probably won't know, honestly, until we see his name pop up on the roster, if it does. But it's going to be a great event regardless. And if you don't see him at Cuba, I would be shocked if he's still in town, if you don't see him at Cayuga at the end of the month. So if you really want to fish a tournament against Greg Blanchard, or meet him, say hi, say you love his videos, something like that, he will. I don't know how long he's staying in town, but if he's still in town, I don't think you'll be able to keep him away from a tournament on Cayuga in May. So if you want to meet him, he'll probably most likely be there. I don't know for sure. I'm not his booking agent, but I would imagine that if he's still in town, he'll be on Cayuga at the end of the month. So anybody else have any questions here? Let's see. Brandon, glad to hear you're doing good, man. I don't know if anybody that wasn't at Canandaigua, you probably saw his Instagram post or his Facebook post, but Brandon had a little scare on the water. Glad to see you're back up doing well, and you were able to finish the tournament and still caught fish. So, glad to see you're back up and around, and Doc says you're okay. But hope to see you coming up either. I don't know if you can make it to Cuba, but I'm sure you'll be at Cayuga at the end of the month. So, Brandon, good to see you back up and around, and sure we'll see you out on the water again pretty soon. If nobody else has any questions, like I said, I'll stay on for another minute or so here, but if there's no other questions that pop up in chat, then we'll probably just call it a night here and look for the ID draw Friday night, probably around the same time here, 8:30 in the public forum. So the ID draw is always a Facebook Live, and it's always the night before the tournament at usually 8:30, plus or minus a little bit here. But like I said, it'll be in Facebook on the public forum, be a Facebook Live, be either myself or Justin. I've done the last couple, so I don't know if I'll do the other ones, but so yeah, again, look out for the ID draw. We'll have any other last minute instructions. We'll go over times and everything for Cuba. I think it's probably going to be the same as the last two tournaments have been, but like I said, Friday night, 8:30, Facebook Live in the NYKBF public forum. We'll do the ID draw, touch on any more rules or anything like that that need to be gone over for Cuba. And like I said, if there's no other comments, oh, Jay, it's 12 gates, cherry vanilla wheat for me tonight. So, I got sipping on that for right now. It's pretty good. But I had it a little bit before, but 12 Gates, if anybody doesn't know, is a brewery. It's local to the Buffalo area here. They're right, a couple miles down the road from me. But they are they're a pretty good brewery. And their cherry vanilla wheat is pretty good beer. But all right, I'm not really seeing anything else pop up in chat. So, all right, guys, have a great night. We will see everybody Friday for the ID draw, and then see everybody on Saturday for the Cuba Lake tournament, the inaugural WNYKBF tournament. So, want to see a big crowd out there Saturday. Western guys that have been wanting to show off the waters we got out here in the western part of the state. Need you guys to show up, show out big, and put some big numbers up on the boards. See everybody Saturday. Good night, guys.